When you walk outside at night and look up, the sky feels like a fixed canopy of stars. But that view is a trick of perspective. You are actually looking into a graveyard. Because light takes millions of years to reach our eyes across the vacuum of space, we are seeing ghosts, stars exactly as they existed deep in the past. To make sense of our place in all this darkness, we have to zoom way in, back to our own local solar system. Down here, the Earth feels massive. It feels incredibly permanent. But that permanence is an illusion. The Sun consumes 99.86% of our solar system's mass. Every planet is crammed into the remaining fraction. It weighs 2.2 nonillion pounds and stretches 864,000 miles across. Hollowed out, it fits 1.3 million Earths. To the Sun, our entire world is effectively a rounding error. In fact, our whole planet is roughly the size of a single average sunspot erupting on its surface. Yet, as physically dominant as the Sun is to us, it ranks as a perfectly average, medium-sized star drifting quietly alongside up to 400 billion others in the Milky Way. At this scale, earthly measurements completely break down. To map the galaxy, scientists have to rely on the absolute speed limit of the physical universe, light, which travels at roughly 186,000 miles per second. By tracking how far that light travels in a single standard year, we get the metric known as a light year. That distance equals nearly 5.9 trillion miles. This chart illustrates the vast gap between human mechanics and cosmic physics. If you got in a car and drove non-stop at 60 miles an hour, it would take you 12 million years to travel just one single light year. The sheer mathematics quickly reveal an environment deeply hostile to the human scale. Our native yardsticks are functionally useless the moment we leave our own atmosphere. Right now, we are hurtling through the outer bands of the Milky Way, located between 24,000 and 28,000 light-years away from the galactic center. Look outward from that position, and you'll find our closest major neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. It sits an unfathomable 2.5 million light-years away from Earth. But Andromeda is far from isolated. It is simply one of an estimated 2 trillion separate galaxies scattered across the deep black. Together, all of this structure forms the observable universe, the absolute maximum limit of human sight. It spans an estimated 93 billion light-years across. This diagram shows what scientists believe lies beyond that boundary. If that entire 93 billion light-year observable universe were scaled down to the exact size of a light bulb, the unseen dark void extending past it would be roughly the size of Pluto. That incomprehensible volume of space is not a static backdrop. The void is highly active, and it is moving. In the 1920s, astronomer Edwin Hubble pointed his telescope at the night sky and gathered data that upended our model of physics. Hubble observed that every distant galaxy he cataloged was rushing violently away from us in every possible direction. If everything in the cosmos is flying apart right now, the logical conclusion is straightforward. Wind the clock backward, and all of that matter must have once been crushed together into a single, infinitely dense point. The vast, expanding abyss we observe today is simply the ongoing aftermath of that singular origin, an event we now call the Big Bang. The physical remnants of the Big Bang are actively washing over the Earth right now. In 1964, two radio astronomers, Robert Wilson and Arno Penzias, were attempting to map signals from the Milky Way. Using this massive piece of equipment, the Holm-Del-Horn antenna, they kept picking up a mysterious hum, a microwave radiation signal hitting them from every direction. They had detected the cosmic microwave background. When the universe was born, it released a blinding flash of energy. Over 13.8 billion years of cosmic expansion, that original light stretched out, cooling down until it became invisible microwaves. Today, modern instruments like the WMAP spacecraft continuously scan those exact microwaves. By measuring slight temperature variations in this ancient energy, researchers can pinpoint the structural origin of the entire universe. The origin of reality isn't buried in the unreachable past. It exists as a measurable energy field, permanently enveloping our solar system. But you don't need a multi-billion-dollar satellite to interact with the deep past. The proof can be found in completely mundane, everyday objects. If you turn on an old analog television and tune it between local stations, the screen fills with a chaotic, flickering static. Roughly 1% of that visual and audio noise is actually the television's antenna physically picking up the lingering radiation of the Big Bang. When we tally up the sheer volume of dead space, the crushing masses of average stars, and distances that take millions of years to cross, it is incredibly easy to feel insignificant. Yet, humanity isn't disconnected from these hostile, ancient cosmic forces. We are a direct, physical byproduct of them. When massive, ancient stars ran out of fuel and collapsed, they triggered violent explosions called supernovas. Those blasts forged the heavy elements, the exact carbon, iron, and oxygen atoms that now compose your body. Every atom in the human body represents the matter of the universe itself, finally waking up to look back at its own creation.